His body of work stretches from the 70s until now, best known for the critically acclaimed series The Wire, the Oscar-nominated film Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Spike Lee's *Da 5 Bloods, and The Man Who Fell to Earth. And now he's in the upcoming biopic, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Incredible.
Whitney is the daddy's princess. We're building something here, so you just keep singing.
Daddy, my money. I trusted you. You were meant to look out for me.
Ooh, I'm getting chills just watching that. He portrays the father of musical icon Whitney Houston. Please welcome actor Clarke Peters, the man, the myth, the legend. Right here in the Pix 11 studios. It is so great to have you here. I have the chills watching that. Oh, my goodness. What a role. I mean, just another notch on your belt at this point.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here. You've been in so many movies, so many TV shows. What drew you to this biopic?
Whitney.
Shaw.
You know, and also our director, you know, Casey Lemmings. You know, that anything she does, I will jump at doing it because she's just the best, you know. And of course Naomi, and of course because we like this.
Look at that.
Look at that. You like that?
That's a nice baritone right there.
Well, you know, I might do what's in the Barry White. That'd be boo boo boo. Yeah, that's cool.
There we go.
Yes.
Put it out into the universe. You portray Whitney Houston's father, John Houston. Mm-hmm. How did you prepare for a role like this, and what did you learn about him while working on?
You know, sometimes people ask actors, how did you prepare? Mm-hmm. Basically, what we do is try to find what the emotional journey is of that person. And there's something inside you as a human being that vibrates with that, and that's what I lock into. You know, that's what I try to find. And in this instance, there was a sense of, not only of a conflict, of love for your daughter, and also the possibility of making a lot of money. You know, so it wasn't a case of like sitting there looking at films of John Huston or anything like that. It was just trying to tune into who this man was and what motivated him to do what he did. Mm. Yeah.
I mean, that's deep, and that's a story right there. And on a lighter note, being on that set, working on this project, you've probably heard the entire catalog of Whitney Houston, start to finish, several times. Is there a song in particular that resonates with you, or that you connect with the most, that you can think of?
I don't know. You know, I was asked that question last week. You know, and it's changed. Right now, it's "I Want to Dance with Somebody."
I mean, you know, that is a timeless classic.
You know, and
does anybody not want to get up and dance when they hear that song? Or sing, even if they can't?
And there's a lot of people singing who can't.
Hey, they're having fun. You can't fault them for that. This not your only biopic, though. You have Sexual Healing as well. You've been a part of that. What can you tell us about that?
Well, that unfortunately didn't really make it to make it all the way out. No, it unfortunately didn't. You know, and that was really nice. You know, what she's talking about is.
I'm sure we can guess.
It's Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing. You know, and we were shooting that in Brussels at the time. The young man who looked after Marvin when he was down and really brought him on back. But unfortunately, that didn't get as far as we really wanted it to. You know, I hope that they revisit.
I hope that they do too. Yes. Another wonderful story that needs to be told of an icon. You recently starred on the series The Man Who Fell to Earth. That got a lot of buzz, positive buzz from the critics.
Oh, good.
So how? So how is working on this type of a show different than maybe some of the other projects that you've worked on? Did you find that you were connecting with a new audience?
Well, with this, with Whitney, it's alive. It's a person who is alive, who has all the foibles that we carry. With The Man Who Fell to Earth, there was a book called Flowers for Algernon years ago. Oh my goodness,
yes.
Right? And and I loved that journey. It was I read it as a child, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful piece. And this particular one makes a person question themselves and their own humanity. You know, and so The Man Who Fell to Earth. You can imagine if someone came to Earth now.
Yikes.
You know, in all the stuff that's going on now, what questions would they ask that you don't want to answer? What questions would they ask that you don't want to answer? That's what's happening in The Man Who Fell to Earth, and I found that a very interesting dynamic to play and to work with. Also, this whole thing of love, you know, of the power of love, You know, people take this for granted. Love is real, you guys. Hold on to it, use it. You know, it's in here somewhere. You know,
It's in there
express
somewhere.
it. Yeah,
Amen.
really. You know, and that's and that because there was all of that in that script and in the man's journey. That's why I took that. Yes.
And you've had such an extensive body of work. You've been all over the world, but I can't end this interview without mentioning our shared connection to one small town in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Englewood, baby.
Englewood.
You spent some time there in your childhood?
Yes.
The town where I was born, people?
Yes. Englewood. I think that, you know, a lot of my love for the arts began there. You know, as a child, there was a women's theater, amateur theater group who would come to Liberty School 3 times a year
Wow.
and put on shows. You know, we had a parent-teachers association that was mixed and wanted to help the kids. And my first show was with John Travolta's mother being a director. You know, and so this is, you know, to grow up in this environment of people who love the arts, you know, who appreciate it and understand what it does for a child, you know, was
So important.
Englewood.
Englewood.
That's what I call Angelwood.
Angelwood.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
We're the first stages of the love for the arts were cultivated right here in Englewood, New Jersey.
That's right.
I love it.
That's right.
Clarke, such an honor to
Mine,
have you
indeed.
on set
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you.
His film, Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, debuts in theaters next Friday, December 23rd, in case you missed his shirt. There it is.
Can I get a shot here? Can I get a shot here?
Look at
There we
that.
go. There we go.
Beautiful. And he's back to the baritone.
I could go here if you want me to.
He's got the full range, everybody, okay?